Hey guys, welcome back to SportsTech. Thank you guys for tuning in to another great episode. I'm starting a little more of a different kind of, a series for this channel now. It's more of a sports corner and also a tech corner. Just made me be able to come and do some chats with buddies of mine, like my buddy Mr. Dallas Hall here. We're talking a little sports on this episode. Dallas, I know we're filming this episode on a Sunday. We're here at your house, by the way. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Filming on a Sunday. It's week 5 of the NFL season. We're currently watching some highlights of halftime of some games now. We also got some MLB baseball on. I know you're really a pretty big NFL guy. What have you seen as far as with the season so far that's kind of surprised you or maybe has not surprised you?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. I've been a viewer since your first video, so
thank you.
Appreciate it. But yeah, just watching the NFL usually is pretty funny. First couple weeks, it takes a while to get some things sorted out, but the Rams have surprised me so far. They're still yet to play today, but we'll see what they do. 3-1. They need to generate a little bit more offense, but Brady coming back. Looks like the Patriots are going to be solid. Minnesota, I knew their defense was good, but they're surprising me. Looks like they're kicking butt again today. So.
Yeah.
And then, of course, teams like the Panthers have trouble. Cam Newton's been having some trouble. Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be a pretty good season, though.
Yeah, I think it definitely should be too. Now, you mentioned the Rams just a second ago, and also another team that at least I've been surprised about has been how well the Eagles have been with the number 2 pick in the NFL draft, Mr. Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah,
at the helm. Do you think in a matchup as of right now between like the Rams and the Eagles, who do you think would end up winning between the number 1 and the number 2 picks in the draft from this year, in your opinion?
Gosh, right now, I mean, I'd really like to see Jared Goff get in there. The Rams haven't played him. I wouldn't want to ever see anybody get hurt, but I was kind of hoping that there'd be some kind of situation where they could put him in the game. But right now, I mean, that would be tough. Right now, I'd say probably depend on where they're playing, but I'd give the edge to the Eagles. I mean, they beat a really good Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Yeah.
The Rams beat the Seahawks, but they always play pretty well against that team. So, I don't know. Right now, I'd probably give the edge to Philadelphia. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Has there been any other teams like besides the Rams? Obviously, you said Rams are 3-1. Eagles are undefeated. Been any other teams that you've noticed from the season so far that have kind of surprised you?
The Raiders. Yeah, I think they're gonna. Yeah, I think they're starting to put together a good young core. Derek Carr is a pretty solid quarterback. I'd like to see them do well. I'm repping my Tecmo Bowl. Bo Jackson
I like
here.
It. Yeah, I like that shirt, man. That's cool.
Got the silver and the black, but yeah, I'd say them for sure. If they keep on building and bringing in some good young players. Jack Del Rio's done a good job with them so far, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of getting away from the NFL game, let's talk a little college football. I know you're a big UK fan.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest in asking this question, I haven't kept up with UK, so I don't know how are they doing as far as football.
Primarily I'm UK basketball fan,
okay.
But yeah, their football team, they started rough. They had a pretty good lead against Southern Miss in their first game and let it go. They recently played Alabama last week. Got beat pretty good. They did get a win yesterday in the SEC, though. They beat Vanderbilt. So I keep up with the scores. I couldn't really tell you any of the players or,
right.
I know Stoops, Stoops is the coach.
Yeah.
I'd say if they don't make some improvements, he's probably on his way out. But yeah, I mean, that's still cool I was kind of hoping they'd give Alabama a tougher game.
Yeah.
But they look, yeah. Yeah.
I think a lot of teams try to give Alabama a tougher game. They usually doesn't work out too well for them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Watch out for Tennessee next week, though. They got to go on the road and play the Vols. So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a close game.
Well, as far as college football goes, I asked you a question. I asked you about NFL. Any things from the season so far that have surprised you from a lot of games that you've seen?
College football?
Yeah.
I guess how well Louisville's played. They played a really good game against Clemson. That was an instant classic. I mean, that was back and forth, and they looked pretty solid. Just didn't expect them to be that good, and the way they handled Florida State earlier was pretty impressive. Was a little disappointed to see Houston. Houston lost yesterday. I was kind of hoping them to go undefeated and maybe kind of sneak into the playoff at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a team from a smaller conference get in there, so that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'd say Louisville's been a pretty good surprise.
Yeah.
Pretty solid team.
That win they had over Florida State was pretty surprising.
Oh,
as far as
gosh.
how they just manhandled them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but you got your traditional teams at the top. Your Alabamas and Ohio States, Michigan. That should be a good game. I don't know when that is, but when Michigan plays Ohio State, that should be one hell of a game.
I think that game's usually towards like the end of the regular season. Usually like right before like when bowl season comes and then the playoffs and all that stuff.
Yeah, probably.
But that's usually a good rivalry game. I think it ought to be produce another classic as usual.
Yeah, I might be mistaken, but I believe it's at Michigan, so that should work out in their favor.
Yeah, especially with Harbaugh being the coach of Michigan now, with him between him and Ohio State coach, I can't remember his name. Urban Meyer. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll add another chapter to the rivalry that is Michigan and Ohio State as usual.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Okay. We have right now as we're filming this episode, we have the Nationals and the Dodgers game on. Washington's up 4-2 in the 6th inning as right now as we're filming. As far as baseball playoffs go, you got any predictions, any thoughts about as far as the teams in it now, who's got a shot to go to the World Series?
I mean, would have to go with the Cubs, I guess, just because of the way they've played all year. But I would say today, I guess I got a little head start because of they've done played a couple of division games. But right now, I would say probably Toronto and Chicago in the World Series. An all blue World Series.
That'd be an interesting one. I'd like to see Toronto. I'd like to see Toronto in the series. I wouldn't want to see the Cubs in the series. That's my own personal opinion for that one. But
tough year for the Cardinals fans, huh?
Yeah, it has been a tough year. I don't know.
I don't feel sorry for them though.
It's going to be very interesting to see what the Cardinals are going to do going forward to try to improve their team, because the National League Central has definitely gotten a lot better, especially between the Cubs and also the Pirates. They've been giving them a tough time the last couple of years.
Sure. Do you have a favorite at all? Do you have a pick for who might make it into the?
I would say Toronto, because Toronto, I would say, would definitely be a good shot. I know they've been slowly building a team, and I kind of figured for the Cubs, when Theo Epstein when it was announced that he was going to be the GM of the Cubs, I knew it was only going to be a matter of time before they had a good team.
Yeah.
With the kind of job that he did in Boston. Granted, it took a little time, but obviously the proof is in the pudding about what he did with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would hope to be Toronto and maybe somebody else from the National League, like maybe the Giants if they can come back against the Cubs. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how that's going to go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I was thinking that maybe the Giants would put up. I mean, of course, the series isn't over, but I'm surprised that they didn't win one in Chicago. Thought they would at least split. And, make it a longer series, but we'll see.
Yeah. Now, one of the last things I wanted to talk to you about. We were talking a little bit before we started filming the show that you and your family went out to San Diego recently, and you said you got a chance to go to watch a Padres game.
Yeah. That was cool. Which unfortunately our flight fell on the same day of your wedding, so I didn't get to attend. But congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Haven't told you that yet. That was cool. Very neat park. I'm not real sure. I think maybe in the early 2000s. I think Petco was 2003 or something like that.
I think that's right.
But it was really cool. I got to see. Well, it's nothing like Busch Stadium as far as the pricing. I set 8 rows up for $50.
Wow.
So I got to see, Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, those guys up close. I don't know a lot of players on the Padres. They unloaded their whole team pretty much.
Yeah.
This year. Will Meyer was playing, I believe. I think he was in there. So, but that was cool, man. Yeah, just different. Seeing palm trees out there in center field, and it's really close to the airport. So I mean, like every 5 minutes or so, you'll see a plane just right through center field, just fly through there. So it's cool. Only second one I've been to. I'd like to be one of those guys that gets older and travels around and visit a lot of different ones, but was excited that I got to go, so it was a good time.
Yeah, I would like to do something like I did for like baseball or maybe even for football. I think would be fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or travel around. There's just games every week.
Yeah, I've never done. Was supposed to go to Lambeau last year with Trex Wood, but didn't get to make that trip. So, but yeah, anytime I can go to a professional or college sporting event and just even if you don't go sit through the whole game, just seeing the different stadiums and being in the different towns. It's really neat.
Especially like college football, like just to go to like a big SEC school for a game, like the first Ole Miss game I remember going to, just like walking through the Grove and being there just for like the experience itself is amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I was, like I said, was supposed to go to supposed to take a trip up north last year, but Trey flaked out on me. Trey.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah. He said he'd rather spend time in Canaloo instead of going up to Wisconsin. So.
Yeah, although I hear Canaloo is great this time of year.
Oh man.
Well, besides just like the usual sports things we've been talking about, is there anything else like in the sports world within like the last few weeks that's kind of caught your eye as far as either like a story or a game?
I'm a big NBA guy. Like baseball, the playoffs are awesome. I don't really watch baseball during the season, but this is exciting watching it during the win or go home. I like that.
Yeah.
That. So.
Well, you said you're a big NBA guy. I'll ask you this for a last question. I know within the last week, and I may have to correct myself on the dates here for this. NBA teams just recently started training camp, but I know they had press days within like this past week. Looking at the vastness of the NBA of this upcoming season, any teams that you're looking out at, like, and maybe are you looking at maybe like the Warriors adding Kevin Durant? You got the Bulls adding a couple of new guys to their team, trying to make it more of Jimmy Butler's own team now that Derrick Rose is in New York.
Yeah, I'd say that's. I don't know if that's going to be Jimmy Butler's team or
Dwayne Wade's
team. So the Warriors, Hopper's a big Warriors fan, so I could take this as a great opportunity to trash them on air and put it out to the YouTube world so they can. No, I'm just kidding, but no, they'll be a good team. I mean, he fits right in with their system. They penetrate. They got 4 guys. They'll have 5 when they play their 6 man that can hit a 3-pointer at any time in the game. So they'll score a lot of points. Cleveland will be tough in the playoffs. Hopefully they can get LeBron a lot of rest in the regular season. I'm very interested to see I've always been.
And just wouldn't you know it, as soon as we get going into the conversation, the camera decides to shut off. Sorry about that. But as you were saying about the NBA?
No, I was just talking about the Knicks. Excited to see what they do. A lot of it's going to depend on whether or not Carmelo can play team ball, but
I don't know. I'm not too sure about that one. Definitely not too sure about that.
He's the definition of a ball hog. But just I'm a big Kentucky Wildcat basketball fan. You mentioned earlier that I love Kentucky, but we're starting to put a lot of guys in the NBA, so I'm just becoming more a fan of just the games. I mean, gosh, we have a team in Phoenix, the Suns, that have 5 ex-Kentucky players on them.
Oh, wow.
In the John Calipari era. So it's just exciting to see those guys move on and see if they can achieve success at a higher level. So a lot of them do pretty good.
Let me ask you this about Calipari then.
Yeah.
How long do you think he's gonna end up staying at Kentucky? Because I know he's had success. Has he won a national title at Kentucky? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, sure did. 2013. That's Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How long do you think he's going to end up staying at Kentucky? You still think he'll be there for a while, or do you think at some point, if there's a good enough offer, he may leave?
Well, his son is a walk-on freshman this year, so whether or not it's true or not, that his wife joked and said that he'll have to be there at least another 4 years to see his son through and graduate. But with as good as some of the teams we put together, I would hope for maybe another national title in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. So he's not. I think he'll get at least one more before he heads out. But I'd say he's probably, another 4 or 5 solid years left in him. So maybe around 2020 or so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's got such a good thing there. I don't know why he would ever want to leave.
That's true.
Yeah.
He does.
Big Blue.
That's true. He does. He does have a good thing there. I'd be surprised if he left, especially if. I don't know. I always kind of thought he may end up going I can't remember the Butler head coach that left for the NBA, took the Celtics.
Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of thought he may go the Brad Stevens route, but maybe he not. He may not. And I'll give Brad. And I'll say this about Brad Stevens. I'll give him credit. He's getting some good success in the NBA now.
Hey, yeah. Watch out for that team.
Yeah.
I would say they would probably finish right behind Cleveland in the East. This year. I wouldn't be surprised if they. I don't think they'll go farther in the playoffs, but as far as regular season, I could see them finishing. Maybe number 1.
Yeah.
In the East. Just wins. So. Yeah, absolutely. He's an awesome coach.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you one last question to wrap the show up. You mentioned Cleveland. We talked about LeBron wanting him hopefully getting some more rest during the year, maybe especially towards the end of this coming season, we get ready for the postseason. Mm-hmm. LeBron is, I believe, 32, 33, I think.
Yeah, he'll be 30.
I think it'd be 33. I think it'd be 32 or 33.
He'll be 32 this December.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Guy he came out of high school. Has played over 10 years now in the league. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of mileage on him, kind of like how Kobe was at the end of his career, where he kind of started slowing down.
Yeah.
How many years do you think LeBron's got left in the league? Because he's 32. He came out as a high schooler, so he's kind of he's got a lot of miles on his body.
That depends on him. If once he loses that explosiveness, that gets him to the rim and scores, he could stay in the league as long as he wanted and be a facilitator, be an assist guy and things of that nature, helping teammates. Now, if he wants to do that, I'd say he could probably play another 6, 7, 8 years, but we'll see once he loses a step or two and becomes not as competitive, with that aspect of the game, if he actually wants to, you know what I mean? He might not be able to. He might be a little disappointed about not being able to just dunk on everybody. So
it's going to be interesting to see how long his body's going to be able to hold up. And I thought it was kind of interesting that at the end of last season, after Kevin Garnett retired, because another high school guy that jumped from high school to the NBA, I believe he took a coaching. He got accepted with a coaching job with the Cavaliers. So it'd be interesting to see, a veteran guy like KG, coaching LeBron, what kind of advice he could offer to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so, and Tristan Thompson too maybe could benefit from that. But yeah, they'll be a tough team. Kyrie Irving, as I think his game's on a different level now. They want to help him win the championship. So it should be. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see another Cleveland Golden State final.
It would be interesting. It's going to make for a pretty interesting NBA season. A lot of interesting fall and winter sports coming up. So it's going to be fun. Well, Dallas, thank you for thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's been good talking sports with you. I'm definitely going to try to get you back on probably around maybe December or so with the NBA season near the NBA season about ready to start then. So I may try to get you back on for another one.
Hell yeah.
So thank you guys for watching this episode. I'm gonna have some other sports and tech corner episodes here pretty soon to go on SportsTech along with some vlogs. So keep on the lookout for that. But thank you guys again for watching. Leave a like down below for this video. Comment down below for some other topics that you want me to talk about with other future guests I have, or whenever I try to get Dallas back on. Let us know. But thanks again for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Later.
Peace.